Welcome to the Talk with Clads podcast. Your host is Katie Ann, an island girl on a journey with her guests to learn about their backgrounds, businesses, passions, experiences, life lessons, and wins. Come and laugh, cheer, learn, and plan with us. My friend, take some time to come and talk with Clads.
Hello world, welcome to Talk with Clads. My name is Katie Ann and I'll be your host for today. Welcome everyone. There's been so much that's going on via entertainment, business. I feel like since last week Sunday, it's just been like a tailspin. So if you've been sleeping under a rock, you've heard about the whole Will Smith going up on the Oscar stage, which is one of the biggest platform for recognizing pretty much excellence in acting. And he went up and he slapped Chris Rock, and both are famous for making a joke about Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. He made a joke about her hair loss. Some say he did not know. He made a G.I. Jane joke, and Will Smith went up, slapped him, went back to his seat, and then started screaming, basically keep his wife's name out of his mouth. So I was like, oh wow. At first I thought it was staged, and then I realized, oh wow, this is actually serious. So there's been some fallout. Will Smith did come out and apologize. Actually, he apologized that night to the Oscar Academy themselves. He did not apologize to Chris Rock immediately, but he referenced like Denzel Washington saying, hey, at your greatest moment, that's pretty much when the devil comes out, which is true. But he did not apologize to Chris Rock immediately. He did apologize, I think, either the day after or maybe 2 days later. But he did apologize. Now, whether he meant it or not, we don't know, but he did come out and apologize. So I wanted to talk about like communication in business, and also speaking about your brand, because Will Smith is a brand. The brand of Will Smith is like a wholesome brand. And so when you have moments where you're, for your business, you are a brand ambassador, especially if you're like a small business owner, your actions represent the business. Now, Will Smith obviously has his own production company. He started doing a lot of social media, and that has been really well received. Jada Pinkett Smith also has Red Table Talk, and that's been very successful also on Facebook, because she's been able to capture some topics and get guests to come and speak about topics that on her platforms that other outlets could have, they couldn't secure that interview. So they're a big brand. And so, once you've branded yourself, you've branded your business and yourself business all in one. You're brand ambassador for your business. How do you react when you have a moment? You have a moment that may not be reflective of your brand through communication. So I wanted to discuss that today on our podcast, because life happens, things happen, and how you adapt to it, what you learn from it, and how you adjust to it is going to be very, very, very important in the success of your business.
Do you want to provide a memorable experience at your event? Book Pin Bounce at 561-727-5488.
Pin Bounce offers bounce houses, cotton candy machines, tables, chairs, and other event services in Palm Beach County, Florida. We offer all you need in one place. Follow us on social media using @PinBounce, and to book your event, call us at 561-727-5488. Remember, we put the P in party with the Pin Bounce touch.
Go Pin Bounce!
Keep you
leather, and paper planner helps you focus on achieving your goals by giving you a sense of personal and professional satisfaction. Some of the amazing features of this product: Vision Board Planner, luxury pen, 8GB USB flash drive, wireless mouse, ultra elegant packaging box, available in 5 stunning colors: black, red, gold, pink, navy blue. Material: PU leather. 13-month planner. Elastic band for easy handling. Our Footsteps to My Vision is available at Amazon, Facebook, Instagram, our website, and at Walmart. You may also follow us at www.cladsresources.com, Instagram, Clads Resources, Facebook, www.facebook.com/cladsresources/.
You're listening to Talk with Clads. Find more resources online at cladsresources.com. Now back to the show with your host, Katie Ann.
So you've done everything that you can do for your brand, right? And just to kind of review what a brand is, like a brand is pretty much your promise to your customers. It tells them what they can expect from your products and services, and it differentiates what you offer from your competitors. So your brand is derived from what your business is and who you want it to be and how they're going to perceive you. You know, are you going to be innovative? Or are you going by your experience? Are you reliable? And so all those things are in your brand, and you've defined what your target market is. And they're saying, hey, I know this brand because they've promised me these things. And whether you're consistent in doing it, as you know, is another thing, but you should be, because at the end of the day, that's your brand. So you've done everything that you can to establish your brand, and a crisis happens. So what do? Like, do you just not show up, or do you go, okay, you know, there is a crisis, let me just manage it? And I think just using the Jada and Will situation, you know, it was a crisis. It was a crisis on Will Smith's brand, and it still is, because there are talks about, hey, are we going to take back his Oscar, which I don't think they will. But they may say, okay, we're going to boot you from the Academy, or you can't attend the next one. And he'll know what it's important to him or not. And he's going to take a stand. But one of the things that I loved what he did was that he let the human show. You know, in both like good times and bad times, your brand should reflect the collective response of your team and your organization. And I'm sure he has publicists that are going about and handling it. But like real people, a great brand is affected by how you respond to the current conditions around you. And if you're going to pretend like, hey, this, you know, it happens, it didn't affect me, and you pretend that nothing happened, then people are going to be like, you're lying, and they may not be so responsive to your brand, in the near future, because some people may crumble in the face of crisis, while in other situations you have people who are able to be resilient and attack the crisis, respond, and be transparent, be honest as you can, and you know, take the bull by the horns and handle the situation. And I think everyone likes to see a brand that is able to be resilient during crisis. As a business owner, one of the things that you have to remember, and as you're building your brand or building your business, you have to think of crisis will happen. And during the time of crisis, you have to be perseverant. And it's a vital characteristic of a business that has a strong value, and one of the things that if you're perseverant, you're able to provide meaningful stories, meaningful personal stories to your for your business. And while you're doing that, you're connecting with others, you're building strong relationships during those tough times, and it's critical because it builds trust and it allows your business to be remembered, which will result in some amazing and fruitful opportunities. And that I read that and I was like, oh, I love it. Right now, think about going back to what happened this past week, where crisis happened, and at the side of the stage you have Will Smith being calmed down by Denzel, who's another great, Tyler Perry, who they're all making their path. Now, we're not here to advocate for violence, and I'm not agreeing with what was with the slap, to be slapped or not to be slapped. That's not the way to handle situations, because if you remember, we talked about difficult conversations, and handling difficult conversation and in conflict management and resolution. That's not what we do. We don't walk around and slap. We do peace building. But just using the example from what happened, I always feel like everything is a learning moment, and this was a learning moment for anyone, any business, any that you're in, whether you own it, whether you work for one. Crisis happen, how you are able to adapt to the situation, how you're able to learn from the situation will impact how successful you are in that business. Messaging is also important when you are in a crisis in a business, right? Because the world, your customers, your future customers, they're watching what you're doing. So you have to be able to adapt your message. Now, not only using the Oscar incident, we have two countries at war. There's a lot of entertainment things are going, a lot of changes going on in the stock market. So you have to be able to tie your message to current market conditions. And when I talk about current market condition, whatever pain points, whatever changes, whatever the competitive landscape looks like, you have to tie your message to that market condition and plan how you're gonna what your approach is going to be. And it may be phased, like you're gonna do like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, but you have to plan out your phase approach to what market conditions are needed to shift the message again. And going back to just using the Oscar as an incident, one of the things was that Will Smith publicist was on top of it. She was right there. They were sending out the messaging immediately. Chris Rock has not really responded, but I know that there are other people on his behalf that have responded. But you have to be able to adapt your message, because there's always going to be a common thread to what your brand stands for. But the message to the market should be able to adapt to whatever the business surroundings are. Adaptability is going to be key. And you have to just remember that who you're marketing to. I mean, you're marketing to humans. And I think Heather Moses of Next Thing, she said company leaders need to remember they're engaging with other human beings. Just remember that company leaders need to remember that they're engaging with other human beings. So you, as a business owner, you have to remember that. Consider what your customers and prospects are going through, what type of advice, support, understanding, because if it's ignored and you send out the wrong messaging, it's going to reflect poorly on your brand. So what Will Smith did, we're not going to advocate again. As I said, conflict analysis, resolution, peace building it's not anything that advocates, hey, slap someone on their face, especially in a public stage where the world is watching. But he came out, gave us an apology, and I'm sure there are going to be more ramifications. But he's trying to, his team, he is a whole brand. They're adapting their message quickly because they are marketing the brand of Will Smith to humans. Like, we have feelings. We're looking at like, well, his wholesome image is not so much wholesome, but they're saying that he came, if you used to watch The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, they're like, well, remember, he was sent to Bel-Air for a reason. That part I find funny, but be true to yourself. Just remember to be true to yourself in your time of crisis. Be true to your brand in a time of crisis. Being true to your brand is the foundation of everything that you do beyond that. So your customers, if you have employees, they all know who you are. And if you try to be something different during a time of crisis, people are going to see through it. If you can't be true to who you are, then you need to reevaluate what your total brand stands for. So be true to who you are, be in control of what the narrative is. And I think I'm curious because I haven't really seen any narrative pushed around Chris Rock. It's more so around Will Smith. So we'll see how his brand, his ticket sales have gone up. He has a Netflix special that's going up right now. So that also, it's unfortunately a negative event like that has actually affected his business positively. So I'm curious to see how it's what's the narrative that he was validated, but what will his brand say, being the one that was slapped? What will his brand? How will his brand affect it? How what will his business? What will his team's business strategy be moving forward? But I know that on the opposite side, I guess, of the slapper, Will Smith's, they're trying to control the narrative right now, and that's very obvious. So handling your business, looking at using that example, minus the slap, but you've had a crisis and you're managing that. You're recognizing, hey, I got to be true to myself. I got to be true to my brand. And I also have to be control of the narrative because that's what my customers are seeing. We were able to see a vulnerable moment on stage because you can't plan that. I thought it was planning essential when it happened. Essentially, I was like, oh, is this like real? Because he walked, when he gave the joke, he was smiling, he looked Jada roll her eyes, and then it was a wrap. But I thought it was a joke at first until he started screaming, keep my wife's name out of here, da 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 da. You can guess what he said, mount. And I was like, ooh, I think this is real. How are they gonna handle this now? We got a crisis because pursuit of happiness. Come on, Mr. Will Smith is about all things positive, and he was being there for King Richard, so everything was all positive. It was being led to this moment. I wonder why, because I'd watch the SAG Awards, and I think it was Laverne Cox that had made the whole joke about the entanglement. I would have loved to listen to what she was thinking when she saw that slap, because that could have been her. But she was not, I guess she wasn't really digging on Jada. She just made the awkward comment on the red carpet. And just to see that how you reacted with that joke, I would love to know like what she's thinking, because that on that SAG Awards, that red carpet moment could have gone all the way left. I'm sure that's a learning moment for her too. But going back to handling a crisis in business, you have to be vulnerable and purposeful. And Darla Price said, when branding during times of crisis, it's important to communicate your purpose genuinely and give customers a reason to want to listen beyond the sale, right? why do I, like, I'm going through a war right now. Gas prices are ridiculous, even though our country isn't in war, but it's affecting us. And if you go, like, I had to fill up my tank, and it's like, it was almost $90. And that for me is really, really, really expensive. So, I'm walking more, which is good, because that means I'll lose my weight that I need to lose. But Lord, that's a lot. So for me, that's crisis, because that's affecting my budget. And so why do I want to listen to a luxury brand at this moment when for me a crisis is going on with my gas in my pockets? Why do I want to spend on clothes right now? Why do I want to spend my money right now? Why do I want to pay extra for plane tickets right now? I love to travel, but I may have to do some backyard stuff, So why do I want to listen beyond the sale? So what you have to realize as a business, that tough times, it takes bravery and vulnerability in order to create like a really meaningful role in actually in my life, right? So if you want to get that sale, or to get my attention, you have to be vulnerable and purposeful. So, and that's where the messaging is also going to come into. And going back to Will Smith, like with all this, if you have any new movies, he was vulnerable because he was crying on that stage. So maybe I will go and buy that movie ticket. Chris Rock, I felt bad. I went and watched that Netflix special. So, you have to be vulnerable and purposeful. And then you have to consider what's best for your customers first, right? Because in a crisis, you're making a lot of snap decisions. So as a business, it's important that you set the tone for and make the right decisions when situations arise. So make it clear that supporting your customers during tough times is a guiding principle for your business, and the long-term benefit of being there for them will outweigh short-term losses. For me, we're not in crisis. I guess you can say we're in crisis mode. But one of the things that what I love, and if you listen to this podcast, is I love speaking to non-for-profits. I love hearing what their purpose is. Now, if you're on a non-for-profit and you want to come on Clads, I am going to make sure that you're vetted to come on, because I do not want any scammers on here. But that's one of our corporate commitment and community value driven goal is to, one, if we can provide a platform for where they can get their voices heard at a larger scale and reach more people, then I want to be able to do so. And if I have on the back end the ability to contribute to those causes, I will, because I believe in community outreach. I've been a recipient of community outreach, so I do believe in helping others, and that's also one of our corporate social responsibilities that we've pledged to here at Clads. As a business during crisis, and before I go back to the crisis message, I wanted to insert this. My son Logan just turned 13. So Logan, he's getting a little bit like, teenager. I mean, I think he's been a teenager. He's no longer a preteen. He is a teenager, a full-fledged teenager with the attitude of one. But I do want to wish him a happy, happy, happy birthday, Logan. So happy birthday, Logan. Mommy and Daddy love you. And I wanted to give you that shout out. We have a few things planned for him. So I'll tell you after, because it's a surprise. So I'll tell you about the next podcast. I'll tell you what we're doing for him. And upcoming events. we are going to be at the Del Rey Affair next Saturday, Sunday. Please stop by, say hi. We'll be there with the planners, Footsteps to My Vision. Come out and support. My daughter also has her Among Us LED plushes, so we'll make their debut also to see how it does. So come by, say hi, get yourself a planner. It's coming on to Mother's Day. They make amazing gifts. They're available on Amazon, Walmart, Etsy, Facebook, Instagram, on Clad's Resources, www.cladsresources.com. And take a look at the site. You'll see that we're really building out. I'm going to start offering some trainings on workplace conflict management, or that is our brand. We do HR, but we also do conflict resolution services. We offer conflict resolution services. We prep you for the job, but we also prepare you while you're on the job. And if you want us to come and train your employees, train your leadership team on conflict and resolution skills, we can do that virtually. We can do that in person. And pretty soon you'll also see the trainings available on our websites. Some of the trainings I'll offer like a free brief overview or some quick tips that you can use, but you'll have to really fill out the contact form, and we can come out and do a consultation virtually or in person. All right, so check the website out, www.cladsresources.com. If you're able to attend the Del Rey Affair next Saturday and Sunday, we will be there. Stop by or booth. As I said, Mother's Day is coming. The Footsteps to My Vision planners are amazing. I'm using it on the daily, and sometimes I find myself, I'm coming up to, I think, my 3-month check-in, and I was like, Lord, I'm not where I need to be. So yeah, I need to hold myself accountable, and the 3-month check-in is definitely gonna hold me accountable. As it's coming on, where more things are coming up, you'll find out we're gonna be out a little bit more. Check out Pin Bounce. Pin Bounce has the Bounce House also. So more information to come. I'm gonna have Manny on back just to talk about Pin Bounce and the different events that he has planned coming up, and also how you can book him. You can follow him on Instagram, Facebook, social media for Pin Bounce. Check his website, pinbouncehouse.com, and you can reach out to him that way. But I'll have him on. We'll discuss it a little bit more. And then now a word from the sponsor.
Clad's Resources and Consulting values its customers. Our planner Footsteps to My Vision is a 13-month planner that can be used for 5 years. It walks you through SMART goals, SWOT analysis, action planning, and holds you accountable through 3 monthly check-ins. We work only with top quality materials, innovative designs, and verified suppliers, which are guaranteed to deliver to our high expectations, because when it comes to our customer satisfaction, there's no room for compromise. Made with high-quality PU leather and paper planner helps you focus on achieving your goals by giving you a sense of personal and professional satisfaction. Some of the amazing features of this product: Vision Board Planner, Luxury Pen, 8GB USB flash drive, wireless mouse, ultra elegant packaging box, available in 5 stunning colors: black, red, gold, pink, navy blue. Material: PU leather. 13-month planner. Elastic band for easy handling. Our Footsteps to My Vision is available at Amazon, Facebook, Instagram, our website, and at Walmart. You may also follow us at www.cladsresources.com, Instagram, Clad's Resources, Facebook, www.facebook.com/cladsresources/.
You're listening to Talk with Clads. Find more resources online at cladsresources.com. Now back to the show with your host, Katie Ann.
So I look forward to having you or meeting you at the Delray Fair. So going back to handling a business crisis is you have to, as a business, look credible, right? In a crisis, remember they were like, okay, why am I going to listen to you based on just the sell? I don't want to hear about your sell. So you got to be genuinely helpful to your customers. You're looking for, think about it for yourself, right? When a crisis happened, you're looking for genuine help from credible sources. So when you take the same mentality when you're thinking about your business brand, you shouldn't completely change or what your brand is. You're adapting to the crisis, but you should also make your brand helpful to customers. What makes your business credible in the space that it is. It's the time to rise. This is when you have competitive advantage, when you're able to rise in a crisis, when you're able to be resilient. And what makes your business credible, and think about that. If you are still in the process of establishing your brand identity, and you're looking at home who my target customers are, you should actually plan for the crisis before it happens. Crazy, right? And then that comes into being proactive versus reactive, because you want to be proactive and not reactive. It drives me nuts, this reactive state that we can be sometimes. But going back to what makes your company credible in this space, you're gonna, if you're able to understand why you are credible in whatever space you're in and amplify it during a crisis, your brands will come out. Your brand, this is your brand. It will come out stronger. And so that's why I'm saying I'm curious to see how the two actors, how their team or their camp, because they have a whole camp behind them, how they're going to be able to react to this brand. Because we are their customers. We're going to see those stand-up specials. We're going to see the movies. We're going to see, we're following them on social media. So how they adapt to the crisis. And I don't think Chris Rock, I guess he is a part of the crisis. He was the slappy, and Will Smith, I guess you would say slapper, if that's such a word. And so as their customers, we're having this emotional shift. Because if you picture Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Mr. Will Smith, Pursuit of Happiness, Muhammad Ali, he's had some shows where he was also not, but it always has a learning life lesson to it. And this is when authenticity is going to matter even more, because we're having this emotional behavioral shift as a customers, because we're like, well, this crisis has happened, and so now you have to communicate based on whatever product they're pushing, whatever service they're pushing right now, which is more so product. We're going to be like, we want you to engage us in a genuine and honest way. So here you have Will Smith coming out doing the apology, Jada posting whatever she posted on social media. Because if you don't walk the walk and talk the talk, you're going to lose your customers. So you got to focus on what your initial response is, and then living up to that brand value during the crisis with the initial response. He came out, he apologized. Kudos to Chris Rock for still going and still saying, oh my God, this is an epic moment, and continuing the show, because I don't think many people would have the bandwidth to do what he did after being slapped. Because as much as Peace studies, in conflict analysis and resolution, I don't know if God has blessed me to have the capability of someone attacking me on stage to then just stand and continue going. So that itself is a gift and a blessing that many people do not have, including myself. Because please, no one, do not test anyone in that way. Don't start walking up on comedians and slapping them now, because you may not have the same response that Chris Rock was blessed with, to not do anything. Don't test it. Don't test it. I'm telling you, don't test it, because some people gonna learn the wrong way. And so I say that I kind of went on a little sidebar. Focus on your initial response. Protect and live up to your brand during the crisis, and make sure your communication is prompt, concise, empathetic, and transparent. And while I do not think Mr. Smith wrote not his speech, but his apology afterwards, or there was a fake apology too going around by Chris Rock, or it was very swift, because the sooner you acknowledge your crisis, the more your customers will trust your brand. And Marissa Frieden says, even if your crisis management plans are still developing, the time and tone of your first communication are crucial. So get it right? It's very important for you to get it right. So have that plan before the crisis occurs. When COVID happened, I mean, that was it's still going on. People think that COVID's gone. It's still here. It's still on a rampage. It's more managed, right? And now, brands are adapting, but, a lot of brands did not have a plan in place on how to respond when there is disruption across their industry and whatever business model you have. It showed a lot of businesses going out. Now, I don't know if you could plan for COVID, but you had businesses that, let's say, if you look at a restaurant, a lot of restaurants, they used to be and I'm talking like nice ones, not so nice ones, if you want to consider yourself 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star restaurant where you had to go in and dine in. A lot of those restaurants went to they adapt to being on the different platforms that you can access the foods more. You can do Uber, you can do DoorDash, Amazon, of course. They skyrocketed. And just remember, insert here the Amazon stock split. So if you're ever thinking about getting the Amazon stock, remember, you have to have it by a date afterwards. Before that split happens, you have to be on record. And so, you have to have some type of plan that, hey, if there is disruption in my organization, what's my plan B? How am I going to respond to this? You have to be prepared, right? And for preparation, obviously, you have to plan. And the better your plan is, the faster you can respond with a coherent message that gives the impression that you're taking some type of action. So just remember that, you have to have a plan in place before a crisis. You may not be able to predict the crisis. Going back to the Oscars, no one could predict that. But, if you have some type of plan in place, the war that's going on right now, I guess some could say that with intelligence, you could have predicted and how it's affecting the gas prices now, where many people are moving forward to the electronic model. And so you have to adapt it, because if you have like a food truck business with these gas prices, how will you survive? So you have to have a plan on how to adapt, how to be resilient. So, just remember, you can manage a crisis when there is one, when you have in your business, but you have to have a crisis plan before it occurs, because things happen. Life is not perfect. Business will not be perfect. If you're experiencing a loss, how do you what can you do to adapt? Maybe you go into a different market. Maybe you have a different, you adapt your message, and adaptation is going to be crucial in business. So I'm going to end the podcast there. Thank you so much for joining me. And I know this podcast was a little bit late, but wanted to get on here this week. I promise to be more consistent. Right now, I'm trying to find some balance between, building my brand with Cloud's resources and consulting, having that marriage of human resources service and conflict resolution services. It's workplace conflict resolution services, being an amazing career coach, and then having the different products from the business, going to events, and being in school. I never realized that being a doctoral student, like the work that goes in it, but the learning, the education, the stuff I'm learning, I can share it with you guys. So while I'm doing the PhD, I'm giving you the lessons that I learned, and hopefully you can use it in business too, and your personal life. And if you don't have your own business and you work for someone, fine, use it at work. Your girl still has a 9 to 5 too, so I am working on balance. So my goal is to be more balanced, more consistent. I can't have a plan and not be consistent, right? And as I said, we're going to be at the Delray Beach Affair in Florida next Saturday and Sunday. Stop by, come and support, show your support, buy your planners. If you have show ideas, come on, talk to me. I'm open. And come check Diavian's new products, which are she has 2 types. They're both LED lights among us. One, it has the 2-sided, which is good guy, bad guy, I guess. Not really in the toy world like that. That's Diavian's lane. But come by, say hi. Would love to meet you all. And thank you for taking some time to talk with Clads. Happy birthday, Logan. Bye, guys.
Do you want to provide a memorable experience at your event? Book Pin Bounce at 561-727-5488.
Pin Bounce offers bounce houses, cotton candy machines, tables, chairs, and other event services in Palm Beach County, Florida. We offer all you need in one place. Follow us on social media using @PinBounce, and to book your event, call us at 561-727-5488. Remember, we put the P in party with the Pin Bounce touch.
Go Pin Bounce!
Thanks for listening. Find us on social media at Clads Resources and online at www.cladsresources.com. Our planner, Footsteps to My Vision, is also located on our website or on Facebook, Instagram, or Amazon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and check back weekly for new episodes. Until next time, keep creating your footpath to your vision.